今日は、レスキュー隊隊長のラリー・コリンスさんにお越しいただいてちょっとインタビューしようと思っています。ラリーさん、こんにちは。
こんにちは。
ラリーさん、東北沖に震災の後に来まして、そしてレスキュー活動を従事されたということなんですけれども、どういういきさつで行かれましたか？
So when the earthquake happened, we were watching it here in Los Angeles because we knew that from the magnitude of the earthquake, and we saw the tsunamis coming, so we knew that we could potentially have a tsunami coming to the west coast. So while that was happening and preparations were being made for tsunami here, the U.S. government determined with the Japanese government that they wanted rescue teams, urban search and rescue teams, to respond into Japan. And the U.S. Agency for International Development, part of the U.S. government, deployed 2 urban search and rescue teams for the U.S. government. USA-1, which is Fairfax County Fire Department in Virginia, and USA-2, which is the Los Angeles County Fire Department here in California. We deployed based on the request from Japan through the U.S. government, and we left and were on the ground within 24 hours in Japan. And we were deployed into Japan for 9 days to conduct search and rescue operations, mostly in Ofunado and then up in Komaishi.
東北に行かれたいきさつを伺ったんですけれども、何名の隊員が行かれたんでしょうか？
We sent 2 teams of 74 persons each and 6 search dogs each team, so a total of 12 search dogs. So 74 went from the Fairfax County Fire Department in Virginia, that's USA-1, and 74 plus 6 dogs went from USA-2 from Los Angeles County Fire Department.
その命令を受けたときに、ラリーさんは日本に対していろいろ考えたと思うんですけれども、どういうふうに思ったかっていうのをちょっと聞かせていただきたいんですけれども。 In terms of what we were expecting, it was the worst case scenario that we're very fearful of when we were watching on television. That's exactly the kind of scenario that we're very concerned about in the west coast of the United States. So there was a lot of concern about the people that were in the way of the tsunami and about how many people were going to be survivors that could be rescued later on, and that's why we were ready to go, and we were gearing up right away. During that, when we were watching on TV, the calls started coming in, get ready to go to Japan. So we want to get there as soon as possible to help. 隊長から見た日本のレスキュー隊のその指揮官系統っていうか、その命令の仕方だったりとか、その行動の仕方とか、どういうふうに感じられたかっていうのをちょっとお伺いしたいんですけど。
When we arrived in Ofunado and in Komaishi, our job is to work for the local incident commander, and they had a very well-organized system in place when we got there. There were firefighters and fire chiefs all the way down from Tokyo and Osaka and other places that had come up to Komaishi and come up to Ofunado to help coordinate the operations. And they were very organized. They told us where they needed us to work, where they needed the search operations to be completed, and between the 2 U.S. teams and the United Kingdom team that were operating hand in hand, and then the China team was also with us, and the Taiwanese team, and fire units from Japan, fire departments all over the country that were coming in still. All that was such a good coordinated effort. It was a spirit of cooperation to help others, and there was really no disputes at all. It was only how can we help and how can we help each other, and that's the way it's planned, that's the way it's designed, the system internationally. And it tells me that in Japan, because you do have a lot of disasters, you have your fire officers, your firefighters and shiboshos, they're very professional and they're very knowledgeable and they're very experienced on handling small fires to big disasters. And it was very evident to us that these people knew what they were doing. They were very experienced, they were very decisive, and I think they served the Japanese people very well in that disaster, in the aftermath, trying to do search and rescue, trying to find as many survivors as possible through that whole huge catastrophic event, we saw people stepping up and just taking it to a different level, a higher level of response and dedication to the public safety.
ちょっと震災のことから離れますけれども、コリンズさんが先ほどその人を助けたいということをおっしゃってたんですけれども、その自分の命も惜しまずに訓練されてるとはいえ行って人を助けるっていうことは精神力っていうかモチベーションがすごくないとできないような気がするんですけれども、なんかモチベーションをそう維持するようなこと何かされてるか、またはそういうことをすることにあたってお考えがあるかどうかちょっとお伺いしたいんですけど。
I think when you put the badge on, it means you have decided you've agreed to risk your life if necessary to save another life. The reason there's a band here right now is one of our firefighters died last week on duty, was killed, and so he knew the risks he was taking. The firefighters in 9/11, they knew the risks they were taking. They knew that they might not come back when they went up that high-rise building. The shiboshos in Japan, closing the seawall, and the other helping with the evacuation, they knew that they might not make it out alive, but their job was to help get as many people out of there and save as many people as possible. So it comes back to just a basic instinct of humanity is to help others. You see someone drowning, your instinct is to help that person if you can. And the thing is, yeah, we do take a lot of risk. We do it for a living. It's what we do for our life work. But the other thing I've seen in disasters, including in Japan, was it's not always the firefighters, the shiboshos, or the police officers. Sometimes it's the common citizen that they risk their own life to help others. And we see that in disasters all over the world. Common people that aren't trained, that don't wear the badge, they still have that instinct to help others. And that's a common human trait that makes me think very positively about the human race and our chances in the future, because as long as we have that humanity to help each other and help total strangers, there's always hope for mankind.
今日はレスキュー隊隊長のラリー・コリンズさんに貴重なお話を伺いました。今日はありがとうございました。